Hi there, Chris from Motolegends, the chap in the cap, here today to talk to you about a helmet from Schuberth. It's the C3 Basic. It is not a new helmet. In fact, it's been around since 2005. We're recording this very beginning of 2020, so on one level, it's quite an old helmet. In fact, it's going to be discontinued at some point in the not too distant future, which is why we're here talking about it today. It's still a fantastic helmet. Let me tell you a little bit more about it, and in particular, I want to explain the differences between this and the C3 Pro that replaced it, and why this is still such a good helmet to own. So this is the C3 Basic, this is the C3 Pro. As I mentioned, this came out in 2005. For a decade, it reigned supreme. It was the quietest helmet on the market. It was the helmet that was chosen by most police forces. It was a fantastic bit of kit. But by 2013, Schuberth realized that it was probably reaching the end of its life, and they wanted to replace it with an upgraded model. That, in essence, is what the C3 Pro is. Lots of fairly minor changes. No doubt that they all added up to a better helmet, but none of the single elements that were improved upon make this a different helmet. It's an evolution, it's a slightly better helmet. So where do we start? We had slightly better venting. We had, on this new version, a chin spoiler that was meant to allow it to move through the air a little bit more quietly and without as much disturbance. There was an aerofoil on the back to reduce lift. We had a slightly plusher lining. They moved the chin strap forward. That was kind of it. There wasn't a huge amount that was different. One thing they did do, they improved the aerial. The C3 Basic had a Cardo system. It had an inbuilt aerial. It wasn't particularly good, didn't give you great FM reception, but it also didn't give you great distance in terms of a talk time when you use the Cardo neck collar that ran in here. When they brought this version out, they improved the aerial that gave you better reception and a better talk distance. That, however, as I'm going to go on and explain it in a minute, is a little bit redundant because now we don't use Cardo, we fit into a Sena system that doesn't use the aerial. When the C3 Pro came out, they downgraded the C3 Basic. It had been such a seller that the UK importer was frightened to delist it, so this became pretty much a UK special. They reduced the price, they took the pin lock out of the box. They reduced it to three rather boring colours. There was a white, or there is a white, there's a silver, and there's a black. And it has sat alongside the C3 Pro ever since. Where we are today, this is a helmet that's priced at a minimum of £400. This is a helmet that is priced at £300. That doesn't include a pin lock, so I suppose, to be fair, you have to factor in a pin lock, which in this case would be £30. Now, the reason we're talking about this today is we're going to be running a special offer on this. We're going to be offering this helmet with the pin lock included. It's a proper pin lock, so you might say that if you factored in that cost, this is actually a £270 helmet now, because the pin lock is about £30. You get a genuine pin lock with this. In fact, the downside of the C3 Pro, part of Schuberth's aim to save money on production, the C3 Pro is fitted with an inferior pin lock. It's not a genuine pin lock. It's not as good as a real pin lock. So actually, in terms of demisting, clearing the helmet, the C3 Basic is going to be better than the C3 Pro. But the reason we're here today is that we've recently learned that this helmet is definitely going to be discontinued. So we've bought fairly heavily into it. We've got pretty good stocks right now, but I'm expecting this helmet to run out sometime towards the end of the first quarter. Certainly some colours already, some colours in some sizes are running very low. I would expect this helmet not to be available by the middle of the year. So the way we see it, this is still a fantastic helmet. One of the things I didn't mention, and of course I should have done, is that when this helmet came out, it was a little bit quieter. This helmet had been rated at 60 miles an hour at 84 decibels, this one at 82, but that still makes the C3 Basic one of the quietest helmets on the market. We don't know the figures for all the helmets, the Neotech 2 and so on, but I'm going to take a guess that this is still in the top 4 or 5 quietest helmets that money can buy. So that's really what we're here about today, to tell you that this helmet, the C3 Basic, is going to be available for a short while for under £300. It's a fantastic helmet. When you look at what you can get on the market for £300, you're just not going to buy the level of sophistication that you get with a C3 Basic. One of the things that I alluded to a minute ago, you can fit this with the Sena Coms. The Sena Coms is fantastic, way better than the Cardo system that Schuberth used to work with. It now takes the same comms that you would fit into the C3 Pro, and it's a wonderful bit of kit. I'm just going to fetch one. I'm going to fetch Sarah's helmet and show you how it works. I'm sure Graham's going to do some close-ups on this, but you've got the buttons here on the left-hand side. What we really like is that there is a vertical plane and a horizontal plane. So unlike some helmets where in gloved fingers it's quite difficult to work out which button's which, here it's quite easy to do that. If there's a downside, it's that to operate the buttons, you have to lift the visor. Frankly, if you're not Valentino Rossi, I don't think it matters. It's never bothered me. You're riding along, you want to increase the volume, you want to change the channel, then you just lift the visor and press one of those buttons. What it does have is probably the nicest boom mic of any comms system. It's a little bit of plastic here, works incredibly well, never gets in the way of the face. So that's as good a comms as we think you can find on any helmet. So that's it. The C3 Basic, £270 effectively, £300 including a free 120 pin lock. Not going to be around forever, so if you're looking to get yourself a fantastic quality flip lid helmet at a bargain price, my view is get onto it now. Anyway, if you'd like more information about the helmet, visit the website at www.motolegends.com. If you go to the button, top right of the screen, and click there, that will take you straight to the product page. You can read about this helmet in more detail. You can order it straight away if that's what you would like to do. If you would like to receive our email bulletins, you can also do that from the website. There is a piece of script at the very top of the website that says newsletter update. If you click there, then you can sign up to our newsletters. If, however, you would prefer to get your information videographically like this, we're going to be doing videos pretty much day in, day out for the next year. So there's going to be lots of new videos on lots of new gear. To subscribe, go to the subscribe button below. We'd love you to become a subscriber. If you want to look at this helmet, if you want to get fitted for it professionally, make sure that it works on you, then you can always come and visit us here in Guildford. It's got to be said that the C3 Basic fits very differently to a Schuey. The Schuberth fit is a little bit rounder. It doesn't work on everybody. The other downside with a Schuberth in general is there's not a lot of scope for changing cheek pads. In fact, there's no scope for changing cheek pads, so it won't work on everybody. But if you come and see us, we'll put it on you, we'll do some tests, we'll make sure it fits. We won't sell it to you, we won't let you take it. I suppose we will if you insist, but we will advise you not to take it if we don't think the fit is right. So if you want to make sure that this helmet is correct for you, come and see us in Guildford. Anyway, this has been Chris, Motolegends. Thanks a lot. See you soon.